has ever heard any of these.
What's the name of the collection?
Mega Man
yeah.
Legacy?
Mega
I think it's
Man.
pronounced Megaman.
Ah, okay.
It's actually pronounced Rakuman.
I don't know why that says Stream
pronounced
Proteus. I'm not
Bass.
playing Proteus, but there we go.
Bass, why must I fight you? We are not enemies.
Oh, I can't remember the rest of what Dr. Light says. I just remember the energy immediately with Mega Man.
Oh, this energy looks like a source of evil, Mega Man. I never see anything like it on Earth.
That's a good question.
That's a good try.
We gotta get to it before Dr. Wowie.
Yes, Dr. Wowie.
So, here's the thing I love about Snake Man's level. Snake Man's level is just made of snakes.
He controls the element of snakes.
Yeah, it's like a lot of them, they have some, like, you know, themed places they're, like, working or taking over. And Snake Man's just like, no, I'm just gonna build and make snakes. Like, all snakes all the time. Come down to Snake Man, Snake Emporium.
Maybe he was just like a generic robot and he shows up here and he like sighs heavily and he's like, well, yes, I'm Snake Man.
Alright, let's get some Flame Wars going in the chat. 2 or 3?
Three.
What's the better Mega Man?
3.
I say 2. I'm a 2 person.
I mean, they're both very, very good.
What's the
It's
better
very, very
Sonic?
Oh, Sonic 2 is the better Sonic.
Fuck you!
So actually, Sonic 1 is the best Sonic.
Okay, now I know you're making that up.
How dare you assume
Okay,
I'm just here to troll?
I have not played this game in many a year. That was very embarrassing.
Alright, the Genesis Sonics go 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles, and then Sonic CD.
Hey, what about Spinball?
Put
And
like
then
3
Chaotix.
Sonic 2, 1.
What about Spinball?
I quite like Spinball, honestly. I mean, its physics are not great
Oh, so
by
it's kinda
modern
bad.
standards, but I even liked the music. I think people unfairly judge like the options screen now, and it's like the same problem as sprite art, right? Because you wouldn't hear that with like the high end fully playing. You'd hear it through like your shitty CRT screen like mono speaker. In which case, like the guitar distortion sounds perfectly reasonable on that. If you listen to it like through an emulator, and it's like 44 kilohertz, whatever, and then yeah, it's gonna sound like a cheese grater.
I will just say that Sonic, of all the Sonics, Sonic 1 has the best pacing because of the way its levels go from day to night.
That's interesting.
And also, I just kind of like the graphical style. Like, I really have a thing for, like, very early Mega Drive games. Like, they kind of have, like, that kind of, like, dirty, like, crust to them.
Oh yeah, I do kind of like the aesthetic flavor. I just feel like in Sonic 1, the only good level is Green Hill Zone. It's the only one that feels like a Sonic level, and then you're like, Marble Zone, gotta push switches, gotta push blocks, gotta do precision platforming, and it's like, ugh.
Because I used to be a person who said Sonic 2 was the best.
The
then it's
joke
like-
turned into this actual conversation.
But then it's like, but I don't actually like Mystic Cave, and I don't really like Aquatic Ruin, and I definitely don't like Metropolis.
Yeah, those levels weren't great. Mystic Cave is a jam, but the level's honestly really clunky, and then it's got all those weird, like, diagonal crushy things.
Yeah.
I
Whereas,
think
like,
when people think of
whereas, like-
Sonic 2, they just think of, like, Chemical Plant Zone.
Exactly.
Casino Night Zone was honestly not good either.
No, it was like one gimmick, and it went on for 2 zones.
And then the boss was tedious.
Right.
This is all why I think 3 is the perfect Sonic game.
Which, because 1 was shorter, and it's like, you know what? Labyrinth Zone's kind of shit, but otherwise it's not bad.
That was
Whereas-
the one level I had to level select past as a kid. I just could not beat the boss.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say deal with the drowning music.
Oh, no.
Because 3, I think, just goes on way too long, and I don't really like all of the levels. Like, the fact that, like, all of the water levels are front-loaded in, like, the first half of the game.
Yeah, it was
And
kind
there's,
of a weird thing to like make all of every level in 3 have water after nobody liked water. And I mean, they use it well.
You know, like, why does Launch Base Zone have a water segment?
I mean, it
Like,
kind of... It might have been because they were thinking of, like, they were caring so much more about the world building in that game, and it kind of makes sense for Launch Base to have water in it just by virtue of where it takes place.
I can't believe how badly I'm playing Mega Man 3. I'm gonna blame my controller.
I'm not even noticing. I'm so incensed by Sonic the Hedgehog opinions.
Alright, well, let's talk Mega Man opinions then.
So here's my take on it. Like, first of all, they're both excellent games, and you shouldn't have to fight because it's very close either way.
I agree, but I like to start fights with the sensitive Mega Man fans.
So what it really comes down to is, okay, so Mega Man 2 has the Metal Blade, which is that was sad. Which is such a broken weapon, and you can get it so early on, and it's so easy, because... well, let me show you how easy it is. Because... So let me show you how easy it is to get the Metal Blade, actually, because I have them both right here, for comparison's sake.
I think I only ever played 2, 7, and X.
So when you're playing Mega Man 2 and you know what you're doing, you just come here to Metal Man's level. And Metal Man's level is a joke.
And it's like one of the OP weapons too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, hot take, the only good Mega Man X game is the first one.
I haven't played the others, so I can believe you.
1, 2, and 4 as 0 are all good.
Oh, 4 was good because it was like, oh, what am I fighting for?
I've never actually played 4 as X, now that I think about it.
My favorite game where Mega Man's the main character is Marvel 3.
Yeah, because I grew up with, like, Mega Man 1 through 3. So, like, those were, like, the ones that I loved the most. But, like, 4 is pretty sick, too. 7 was fine up until the Wily fight. And I remember really being excited to play Mega Man 8. And it's like, that's fine. Not the best.
So here's something I want to point out, just for comparison's sake. Look at the background here. It's like all this just black. You don't really get that in 3 anywhere.
It's pretty impressive they ever moved away from that because, like, it really astounded me when I found out later on just how restrictive the Famicom's graphics are. Like,
oh yeah,
only certain number of active sprites per row at a given time. Only this and this for, like, that's why they were like so heavily relying on like background tiles, which are treated different.
And only 3 colors to work with. And you'll notice there's 4 in Mega Man.
Gave me a new appreciation for all the games that look as good as they did. Have both of you seen Bioforce Ape when that finally got released?
Yep. I'm all about Bioforce Ape. I remember when it was still a wild hoax.
Yes, I remember the butter monster and all that.
Eat communism.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Capcom, they made like 6 games on here. Technically 2, because Mega Man 9 and 10 used Famicom architecture when it was being put together.
No, they didn't.
Oh, really?
They faked it, and there's a couple places where they cheated. But yeah. They did an excellent job of recreating the look of it, though.
Alright, Anti-Creates, I knew you were gonna fuck it up. See, this is why Mega Man 9 was bad.
Like, just an easy pattern to dodge.
That doesn't look super easy, but it looks like you can tank it.
He throws blades depending on how often you shoot.
Oh.
So if you're like rapid firing, he'll just throw a bunch, but if you only fire a couple times, he'll take it easy.
I think I like the Mega Man music more than the actual games.
The music's all great.
Yep.
Games are solid.
I want to learn some of these on guitar.
You and everybody else on early 2000s internet.
Yep. I'm gonna go viral.
Overclock.org.
I remember I used to really like going to OC Remix, and I remember it was like a running joke among me and people that looked at it that they would like blather on about nothing at all for like 6 paragraphs every time there was a new release, and then like the last 2 lines would be like, anyway, the music's good.
So please, like, watch my MP here for when it actually dips noticeably. Sorry, music's off. It takes half a bar per shot. You got this 8-directional shot. They shred like everything in the game.
That looks stronger than your Mega Buster.
Oh, it's much stronger.
I mean, every weapon is stronger than the Mega Buster.
Well,
That's,
here.
Oh, fully charged, I mean.
That's the thing about Mega Man.
Oh yeah, charging is not a thing in the first 3 games.
Oh!
The Mega Buster didn't show up until Mega Man 4. The slide didn't show up until 3.
Oh no, it's Rush.
So it's nothing, there's no Rush in 2.
Nope, Rush made his debut in 3 as well. And so did Proto Man. Oh no, he's gonna blast President Lincoln!
Is that an actual line?
From the American Mega Man cartoon, yeah.
Have you seen that? Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, we had a short-lived animated series over here for Mega Man, as well as Street Fighter and also Darkstalkers for some reason.
I've seen a little bit of the Street Fighter cartoon, namely because I just wanted to know where the bison memes were from.
Yes! Yes!
This is delicious! I'm disappointed they didn't give him that line in like 4 or 5.
I'm honestly shocked Rel Julia didn't come up with that line first.
Yes.
Spam's like racing to the past, right?
Oh, it only gave you like 50 more buzzsaws.
Yep. Like, I'm using this exclusive the whole level, I'm not, like, conserving my ammo, and it's still full. It's never gonna not be full.
Oh, someone in chat asked if Violet's audio is still working. I'm gonna check on Twitch.
Uh-oh. Oh, we definitely don't want audio breaking for Mega Man 2.
I can hear you on Twitch,
okay.
you're just very quiet.
Yeah, never mind.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna turn this down.
It's fine, you're just gonna hear us all argue about Mega Man and Sonic.
Oh yeah, it's like the one enemy in the game that you can't just hang with the...
Have either of you played the handheld era Sonic games where the boost mechanic actually came from?
Oh, like, you mean like Sonic Advance?
Advance and Rush and... Like, those were good, and people don't seem to know about them.
Oh, I thought you meant game.
I still have my copy of Sonic Advance 1. I tried to play Sonic Rush, and I gave up on it, because it's like, I'm sick of these fucking bottomless pits every 2 steps that I can't see because of the weird dual screen mechanic.
That much is fair.
Anyway, I don't actually spend too much time on Mega Man specifically. I just wanted to say, like, the Metal Blade, you know, it's good, but it's, like, so good you just use the whole game for everything. Mega Man 3 has a much more balanced selection of weapons in it. It has Rush, it has some levels I like a little bit more. And then it has the whole thing of after you beat the 4 levels, there's the, like, hard mode, smashed up versions of the levels with bosses from Mega Man 2 in them, essentially.
Oh, that's neat.
Before the castle, which, like, gives you that, you know, extra link to the game that they usually use the 2 castles for, but it's not, like, actually 2 castles. You can, like, take a break and do other stuff between them. You can choose the order still. Using 3's weapons on 2's bosses is kind of a cool concept. And then, yeah, 4 added in the whole charge shot, which kills the pacing and also makes it go constantly, which is really annoying to me. And where'd Mexico? Then 5 is just kind of more of that and didn't really bring anything to the table at all. 6, though, I find really underrated for reasons that I will show off in a moment here.
I mean, Mega Man 5 is responsible for the greatest ROM hack of all time.
Oh,
Yeah, a ROM hack made by what is obviously a very lonely teenager in like the late
Uh-oh.
90s.
Go on.
It's called Mega Crap,
Okay.
and the plot of the game is changed so that the opening sentence is now a vicious army of gaybos is bent on destroying your dick.
I think I've heard that line before, and I didn't know where it was from. So,
And all like
thank you for enriching my internet
and
knowledge.
like all of the Metool enemies have been edited so it says gay on their forehead. And Gravity Man, his name was changed to Grab Me, Man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was like a whole subgenre of Newgrounds animations. Is what if thing, but gay, and not even like
Oh, that was like
not
the
even like
whole
gay stereotypes,
subculture
just
of,
like gay puns.
I mean, that was like the whole subculture of NES ROM hacking. Was just like, well, you like Dr. Mario? Well, now it's Dr. Mario, but like his dick is hanging out. Or for some reason, Wilfred Brimley is here. I mean, nowadays ROM hacks like that are just like, oh, Dr. Mario is a Nazi now.
So just to
That sounds
avoid,
about right.
having to get some stuff. Here's the reason I like Mega Man 6. Mega Man 6 took out the whole like standard, but in every game, rush, jet, rush. What is the freaking jump thing? Just jump? And
This boss is a bit woof.
yeah. And it gave you instead this thing. Dog power armor.
Oh,
Where you can't slide anymore, you can't charge your shots, but you got one that gives you this nice little jetpack that uses physics. And then one that
Punch.
gives you this melee attack that can really hit things hard.
that's neat.
And neither of these take energy. It's just, you know, they have other restrictions, and you can just kind of default to them.
I like that a lot. Just having a general playstyle selector.
And this is a concept that they didn't really get back to with this series until, like, Mega Man ZX on the DS, I want to say?
Yep, because 11 didn't have it either. 11 had the weird, like, gear mechanic.
I like the gear mechanic from what I've seen of it. I haven't actually played 11.
Yeah, I did. I hated it at first because I was like, damn it, this plays nothing like Mega Man 2. And then I played it again with like the gears. It's like, okay, I guess I can see what they were going for here.
Also got this in this game, which I just love. Big old net dispensers.
I wish stuff in modern video games, if they're going to make stuff explode unrealistically, which most things do, it may as well be like the multi-stage explosions from older games, where it's like.
It's weird to be able to get one of just like your own head. So yeah, this also lets you get to like see your personal levels like this.
I like the dramatic sunset
Yeah.
over the cyber base. A very early vaporwave.
Oh, Mega Man pioneered the sunset background.
This is Mega Man 6.
Which I don't want to say it's my favorite one. My favorite one is probably still 3 with 2 really close behind. But like I think 6 is really underrated. And I think my cat is on my keyboard. And that's not the best place for you to be. Please move along. You're very cute. I am petting you, but I need to do this. Thank you. I need that for whatever. up there. It's just kind of like this alternate route where there was the energy balance after I have it already. Anyway, so again, like, I like 3 a little bit more than 2. 2 is still really good. And 2 kind of has that, like, advantage of being the first Mega Man game because we don't count the first one.
Not unless you're playing the remake on PSP.
Yeah, that was okay except for having Oilman in it.
True.
Oh, is that another one in the genre of Tomahawk Man?
Oh, you could say that.
I don't like his design face-wise, is all I'm going to say.
Do a Google search sometime for Oil Man. You might see where the issue may lie.
Oh, Oil Ocean Zone. That was like yet another iconic part of Sonic 2 that was honestly not a very good level.
Nope. I didn't even like it in Sonic Mania either.
I thought they improved it a lot in that one.
Right.
I liked the gimmick of like the toxic fumes. And how that was kind of a throwback to like the Sandopolis darkness. Actually, what even were the good levels in Sonic 2? Chemical Plant Zone?
Emerald Hill.
Yes.
I liked Hilltop.
Hilltop was weird. It felt very like unfinished to me, even at the time.
I liked the vertical progress that it had.
That's true. I do like that.
I liked the pseudo 3D like math textbook background that it had. Like the trees and the rocks had like that late 80s, early 90s kind of 3D on them.
Maybe I would have liked it more if the music was better. I felt like that was like the weakest music in the game.
It definitely was.
Wow, but really has this bad D-pad.
I hate to say it because I love 2, but it's like, man, it felt like the soundtrack really took a dive compared to 1, especially given that the same guy did the composition. And of course 3 is just amazing because not Michael Jackson did all of the music.
Yep.
Please, Space Michael.
Oh yes, of course. That's the answer to the mystery. Is Space Michael did the soundtrack?
Yep.
Yeah. It's just, Space Michael and all of Space Michael's collaborators.
Space Michael and Ulala.
Ulala, help! The aliens are kidnapping everybody.
I find it so weird that someone had like so much stage presence but was so consistently bad at acting.
I mean, he was good in the episode of The Simpsons he was in.
He just kind of like talked, I found, more than acted.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a lot better at singing and dancing than at acting.
I'm a little tempted to actually play with the keyboard and keep playing it. Yeah,
I just remember being surprised after he passed away.
Oh dear.
Stuff in his house was put up for auction, and there was like an entire floor in his house that was just like Sega arcade games.
Oh, I can believe that.
So this still has a gimmick to it. Like this right here, this is fine. Totally harmless. But I'm sure I'll show it off eventually by sucking. These things create fire. And if I hadn't killed that time...
Oh!
Now
this is making me wonder if, like, the flyer dropping dudes in Sonic Mania were like an Oil Man reference, because those weren't in Sonic 2 original, and they work basically like that. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, this is Flame Man.
It probably
Man
was.
Oil Man was one of the 2 strat bosses in the first game.
Wait, this isn't Oil Man?
No, this is Flame
No,
Oh,
no, Oil Man was in Mega Man Powered Up,
Man. And it
which
just
is
happened.
the
It's just a neat little thing.
which is the PSP remake of Mega Man 1. Which is just Mega Man 1, but like the levels are actually designed well and also has a level editor.
And it
is the
plays
fire an
normal, right?
insta-kill?
Oh yeah. Fire is a kind of spikes.
Mm. Okay, now I have to see what people are talking about.
Okay. Don't see what orange. This D-pad is so awful.
Does he just look like a weird oil droplet, or am I looking at the wrong thing?
I think you got maybe Capcom's intention, not what the rest of the world saw when they looked at Oil Man.
Okay, I'm trying to look at this like through my dirty lens, and I'm not getting it.
It's not dirty, it's racist.
Look at the eyes and the mouth, and also the color of the oil drop.
What's the color of the oil drop?
Okay, do another image
I'm
search for Square's
overthinking
Tom
this.
Sawyer, and we'll get to the bottom of this mystery.
Sorry?
Do another image search for Square's Tom Sawyer, and we'll get to the bottom of this mystery.
Yeah, they came out 1 year before Resident Evil 5. Somebody at Capcom was definitely like really into like hating on the black man.
Okay, I see more what you were getting at.
Yeah.
I was trying to squint at it wrong.
Yeah, it's straight up some
Also,
blackface
a lot of
right
people
there.
haven't seen it. The original Mega Man is just a weird game compared to the rest of the series.
When you said Oil Man and he was racist caricature, I was expecting like a turban or something.
No. Flame Man has a turban, unfortunately.
I mean,
but
you
Oil
wouldn't
Man is just...
necessarily be wrong for thinking that.
That's why I thought that was Oil Man when you picked that one.
Yep. But no, the original Mega Man has just 6 bosses, and it has a point counter.
Yeah, back when games cared about points.
Items that give you more points, and it's just like...
But the points don't actually do anything. Like, you don't get extra lives or anything for doing it. It's literally just there.
That's just not spawn. I forgot this is a thing that they use. The
I
music's
think
so
that's
gargly
the
here.
sound of. I think you just need to wait for it for a long time. Oh, there you go.
I'll write that. Yeah. But this, like, it feels like a little rougher around the edges, too, you know?
Mm.
Like, the sound effects mess with the audio track. The backgrounds don't quite have that, like, level of polish they do in really most of 2-on.
I have fond memories. Oh, sorry.
I once heard someone describe Gutsman's level as being more annoying than a room full of
Holy
Ricky
cow,
Lake
okay.
fans.
I'm sucking at it now because this controller is just the worst, but I don't usually mind Gunsman's level.
I play all my platformers on my hitbox these days.
But yeah, I'm doing this on the 360 controller, which has just this like weird ultra slippery D-pad that really likes the diagonals.
Every console controller has the worst D-pad, IMO.
Well, except for Nintendo.
Except for the Saturn.
Except for the Neo Geo CD.
And then we have, who had the really, really ugly level? Was it, Omnium?
Iceman looks a little out of place because he looks like just a man in a parka.
He definitely got that Inuit look to him. Or not Inuit, but more like Captain Cold from DC Comics.
I didn't really like the Flash live-action series, the recent one, from what I saw of it, but they casted Captain Cold very well, and he just like chews up the scenery, and every bit I saw with him in it was a treat. And they gave him like weirdly important parts of the story, so I kind of wonder if they realized that they had someone who was giving it their all. Also, I find it hilarious that his name was Leonard Snart, and they'd in these like super serious scenes be like, "We gotta find Snart, that damn Snart."
Yeah, it's when you snit and fart at the same time.
Dude. Oh yes, that was a compound. That was like an equation I had to solve.
This is all like weirdly slippery too for Mega Man platforms.
I would imagine most snits are snarts.
Okay, this is not acceptable AI behavior. You can't just stay on top of me like that.
Is this a proto man?
It's just Sniper Joe. Some variations have been in every Mega Man.
Not to be confused with Super Joe.
No.
I was just thinking of Super Joe when you said that. If you play Bionic Commando Rearmed on here, I'd put you in co-op.
I have it, but it's on 360.
Ah.
Yeah, I'll have the PC version and PS3 versions.
Oh, if you ever want to play Rearmed, let me know. I got most of the way through co-op with someone and was looking to redo that.
Oh, does it have online co-op?
Oh, I don't know if it's online now you mention it. Like, be a good excuse to try out remote play.
Because I know on PS3 it definitely was not. It was,
I never tried the
like
sequel with Dad Spencer.
The multiplayer was local only.
Oh, okay. No iframes getting out of spikes in this one. That's good to know.
Doing this on Sonic 1 rules.
You're kind of distracting me right now.
Cat problems.
Yep. I think he's getting a little bit bored and wants me to stop playing video games and sit with him instead. I mean, that's fair.
I miss my cat so much. She would just sit on my lap for hours while I played video games, and so long as she was just happy to be close.
I used to have a couple like that. I had one who just like glued to my lap at all times, in fact.
She was the one I could just put one arm out, and she'd like wall run very gently up my arm and sit on my shoulder like a parrot.
Cute. Yeah, this is what they're supposed to do, is just stand there, put the shield for a bit, shoot a little bit. The person also made him like jump around, so like, it's crazy and it's kind of annoying. And, oh yeah, there was this weird, like, monsters in the loading halls.
Your iframes lasted the whole tunnel.
Yeah. It's like the little loading hall should be a sacred place where nothing can hurt you.
Mmm. It's like Nemesis busting down the wall of a room with a typewriter in it.
There's two screens of that too. course, the other thing with Mega Man is, like, at least in America, the first one did not sell at all because it had that box art.
Oh, that box art.
Mm-hmm. And oh, right, there's, like, you gotta grab the boss's weapon off the floor.
It's the old days of Mega Man.
Mm-hmm. And get your points.
I had to grab it like it was like the wand in Mario 3 or something.
Yeah, like, I'm not really a fan of 1. It's a bit rough around the edges, but it's still, like, better than most games on the NES at the time that it was released. 2 is really good. And they didn't use that argument. Let's see. Unless they... I forgot there was this, like, whole museum thing in this one. So come on, it's gotta be in here somewhere.
Do you think adhering Susie was an alliteration in Japanese or something? Oh, there we go.
Sticky
Oh,
Sue.
that's even bad for what it is.
Mm-hmm. This is, yeah, just take it all in.
That's the Mega Man.
Mm-hmm. The awkwardly held gun.
This is making me imagine a live-action Mega Man the movie.
Yep.
Starring Raul Julia as Dr. Wowie.
That'd be kind of great.
The day I took over your country with robots was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. Down to Dr. Wowie,